Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining with me today. As always, I'm your lovable host, Lee. As you probably have noticed, in this episode, a few of the sounds and intros have changed a little bit. With my podcast, as I said in my very first episode, I'm obviously a little bit new to this, so my podcast you probably will notice some changes here and there. Always looking to improve, always looking to make it sound more clearer, always making sure that it goes and smooth as well as possible as I would like. As I said, always work in progress. I hope that I can't believe I haven't reached episode 4 already. But as it keeps changing, as we keep going episode to episode, I hope that it gets better with each one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you continue to come back with me every Tuesday when I hear my lovable, annoying voice ranting and raving on all these topics. That's just the first thing I just wanted to get out of the way first. Obviously, first little bit of news. Other bit of news, I regularly play tennis, and due to lockdown, which I think I said in my last episode, we're still in lockdown. We've got out of lockdown now, and I've just gone back to playing tennis just yesterday, and holy shit, I'm starting to feel my age. Didn't play for about a month because of the COVID lockdown, and my God, I can feel everything. Everything on the one side of my body, I can feel everything. So I'm glad with a podcast you can sit down and do this. You don't have to stand and talk to a whole bunch of people, because I think I'd be lopsided, or I'd be holding everything in my left hand because my shoulder and my arm are sore. I hope you enjoyed that little bit about my health. I'm glad I don't have a very heavy lifting job, or this would be hurting as a bitch tomorrow or all fucking week. But enough about me. Let's get into this episode. So, since the last episode there was a few new trailers. The most prominent one is the new He-Man trailer for the Kevin Smith series on Netflix. Holy shit. That is just radiating 80s all over it. It looks so clean. It looks like so bright, so many colors, so clean. Obviously, with technology that, 20 to 30 years later, obviously it's going to be. But the new He-Man series looks great. I can't wait to watch that. And obviously, any trailer that has I Need a Hero in it, 9 times out of 10, sold. You've got me. Because that is a great song. That's a new trailer that I can't wait for. There has been a few more trailers, bits and bobs with Black Widow. We're so close. So close. I just want to go to the movies. Just want to go see it. But I see Marvel's been releasing bits and pieces about that, and I can't wait to watch it, and I can't wait to tell you all guys all about it. Speaking of Marvel, not a trailer, but Loki got released. The first 2 episodes of Loki have been released, and wow, wow. Ever since watching those 2 episodes, I've been texting my friends. We've been not arguing, but debating back and forth about this. It's really good. Out of all three TV shows that have been released so far, obviously with Wanda and Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki wastes no time. I think within 15 minutes of the show, you already know the new characters, you already know their names, and you're straight into it. There's no paced. Obviously, it's paced out, but it's not a slow start. Like you get straight into this. It's only into episode 2, And realizing that fact there's only 6 episodes makes me sad, because I would want more episodes of this than Wanda and Falcon and Winter Soldier, because this is so good. And for any Marvel fan out there, you should be watching this. I understand you may just want to watch Marvel at the movies, but this is really cool. Everything is so clean cut. Quality is 100%. Disney's literally dropped a bag of money to Marvel and been like, yeah, go nuts, have fun. You need this to make this? Done. Here's your blank check. So the first episode's really good, and so is the second one. Second one kicks into straight into gear, and I'm pretty sure as I'm recording this, episode 2 of Loki, or Loki in general, altogether, has a 100% rating of Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into Loki. This is, like, straight off the bat, like, it does obviously do the recap for Endgame, so just a short reason to obviously to get straight into it and pick up where it's left off. And that was, of course, episode. If you're listening to this, 100% you probably have watched Loki. If you haven't, stop listening to my podcast, go watch it, and come back, because this is grade A stuff. You need to go watch Loki. It's, as I said, it's really sad the fact there's only 6 episodes, and I'm already curious to know, like, what's going to happen in the last episode. But the first episode is a really good start. You really get into it. Obviously, the environment, the show's setting. I will admit, it was very sad and great acting by Tyler Hiddleston when he was sitting and watching his entire life go by in the MCU. Like, you really felt for him. Which for a brief second, I thought he might have not gone through it, and he would never know, or he would only watch it at the end of the series. I'm glad they did that right at the start. I'm really glad they did it right at the start. So, boom, he knows everything. Nothing. They're getting straight into it. But soon as he watched that entire way through, the emotion that he was conveying, and when he saw the fact that right at the end it says end of file, you felt for him. Which I was saying to my mate is the fact that, if you're watching a show just brand new, like, you're still obviously in similar environment, you still feel for them. But I think because of the fact that Marvel have built this over 11 years, you feel for these characters so much more. Like, it hits harder because of the fact that you've gone through these characters every step of the way. When normally, in a normal scenario, you only get like 4 movies worth. Obviously, we've seen this entire MCU grow, highs, lows, especially Loki, who's a fan favorite. And I'm so glad the fact that Tom Hiddleston didn't get Thor and he got Loki instead, because he's brought so much characterization and emotional weight to this character. And watching it through, like watching that highlight reel, and you just fell for him because we've been through everything. We've been through all the highs and lows, and the fact with Thor 3, him and Thor rekindle their relationship. Like, he was going to fight with his side for the next a few years, and then boom, crack of the neck, gone. It was really quick and really, really surprising in Infinity War, but at the same time, which I've always said, is the fact that Thanos, in that opening scene for in Infinity War, I know I'm going off topic, that is how you introduce a villain. That is how you make a villain hated and show the pure strength. In that first 15 minutes of Infinity War, this character that we've barely seen kills the fan favorite villain, who's been there since 2011, cracks his neck, at the same time makes the Hulk his bitch. And in that scene. So hero, you already see his strength, you already see what he can do, which sets up Infinity War and Endgame perfectly moving forward because you already know the power scale, which is another conversation for another day. But back to Loki, which you'll 100% notice that I go on so many tangents. Funny enough that talking about Loki on that, so many tangents. And it's really cool to see this world. I do love the aesthetic, the fact that, very old typewriters and, typewriters, old lighting, suits. I love the scene with Casey. He's like, I'm going to gut you like a fish. Oh, what's a fish? Which I think that one of the main arguments that I did have with one of my friends was the fact that he did say that with the stones, finding the fact that there's something higher than the stones, and the fact that people at the TVA just use them as paperweights. This whole argument was the fact that does this lessen all the deaths in Infinity War and Endgame? Because the fact that, they aren't the great power of the universe. They aren't, they aren't this be-all end-all. There is something higher, which I don't think it does. Because the fact that in the TVA, they have no purpose there. But if you take them in the real world, they're still a threat. They're still an immense power. So they're still a threat if you put all the Infinity Stones together. So I don't think it lessens the death of Black Widow or Gamora. I think it just adds weight to the fact that the MCU is massive and it is expanding with every TV show, every movie going further and further. The fact that, of course, there is going to be something higher than an Infinity Stone. There is something beyond that, which I think makes perfect sense. Because the fact that if we're looking at higher powered things, one word, Galactus. Look it up. He is going to have to be brought in at some point. How Marvel are going to do it, I don't care. It's going to be fantastic. Huge Marvel fanboy. I'm pretty much, look, as you probably noticed in the last 4 episodes of hearing me chant, is that I do believe Marvel is printing money. Like, I will go watch nearly anything that Marvel produces. In saying that, I have not seen all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because after the first season, I lost interest. Didn't pique my interest, as well as with the Loki, another dig at the fact that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a tangent, is an alternate timeline to the MCU, because the fact that he did say that Morbius did say that Coulson's dead. He didn't say he's come back. There's nothing saying he's coming back, but that could just be a one-off. That's the first episode. First episode kicks off really well. Second episode, loved the opening. Again, I need a hero song. That was really good. But the whole way you're expecting it to, all the way you're expecting it to be Loki right at the end, or a variation of Loki. And the fact it's not Loki at all, and he even says the fact that why I would never treat myself like this. That's because it ain't Loki. That's because that is Enchantress. Or a version of her, which makes a lot more sense. I am stoked for next episode. Obviously, I'm stoked for all the rest of 4 episodes. It's really sad that next week when the episode releases, we're halfway through. But definitely go watch it. Episode 2 kicks off really well, and there's a scene. It's the small details at Marvel that I do love. There's a scene where they're about to enter a shopping center, and there are all the guards and everyone's walking straight to it. But you see Loki pause, and then look up to the rain, and it makes you think could be over analyzing. It makes could be over analyzing. It makes you think, is he looking at that as in, it's really raining, or the fact that he misses Thor? Because he thinks Thor's dead. Because the last thing on that tape he watches in first one is the fact that the Asgardian ship blowing up. There was nothing from Endgame. So for all he knows is that Thanos is still alive. Thanos is still alive. He knows that obviously that the Avengers gone through time. But at the same time, he doesn't know Thor's alive. But could be wrong. Could be any scenario. But yeah, that's my take on Loki. It's gold. It's wonderful. It's gorgeous to look at. Owen Wilson is great. Want to know more of his backstory? Obviously, we're going to find out more, but 100% go watch it. My top recommendation, which is really in other news, in other movie news, Aquaman 2 got its title, Aquaman The Lost Kingdom, which is going to be really interesting because as far as the new Atlantis was the Lost Kingdom, which a nod to Atlantis The Lost Empire, which you should go watch. Atlantis The Lost Empire. I'm pretty sure it was the 20th anniversary. Yeah, actually, it was the 20th anniversary of that because that came out in 2001. That's a great animated movie by Disney. And that is one that, if I could request anything from Disney, not a Cruella sequel. I haven't seen that movie. I hear good things, but at the same time, I'm not gonna go watch a movie about a woman that likes skinning dogs. That doesn't cool. You're trying to make a villain a hero. I get that, but what she does is kind of really fucked up. But hey, in saying that, I would love for Disney to make Atlantis: The Lost Empire a live-action movie. Throw money at it. Get a good director. It would look fantastic visually, which, as you can see for the movie, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a great adventure movie that you go off with. Just be something different. Like, even though you've seen an animated version, at least it's something different. But back to Aquaman, Lost Kingdom. Curious to see what that is. Curious to see where that will go. Obviously, it's just a title at this stage, but at least it points us in the right direction. And we just have to wait until it comes out. Which I will go see it. I did like the first Aquaman. It was really good. The only criticism I had about it was that it did feel a lot like movie tropes. Oh, just movie tropes. Like, oh my god, you killed my father, I'm gonna avenge you. Or, oh my god, you killed you killed my mother. It just seemed like there was a lot of movie tropes. I'm like, well, you could just be a little bit more creative. Like, I get it, it's hard to escape that, but do something different. At the same time, Jason Momoa nailed Aquaman, nailed him in the Snyder Cut, obviously. So I'm pumped for that. So that should be interesting. In other news, set photos of the Obi-Wan, Star Wars Obi-Wan Disney Plus TV show. I looked at the set photos. It was actually quite funny because looking at the set photos, it makes you look at them and go, what the fuck is going on? Like, questions, so many questions. And looking at them, and the funny thing is the fact that I'm pretty sure all the other characters except for Ewan McGregor are all not covering up. You can see what they're wearing, but Ewan McGregor looks like he's been lost in the woods for about 50 years. Makes sense. Obviously, being on Tatooine. He's wearing looks like a garbage bag to show up his so you can't see his costume. And I thought, well, I get it why you're doing it, but I can't wait to see it. That is a TV show that I can't wait. Everyone who's coming back and who's new for it, I'm in. The fact that Hayden Christensen is coming back to the TV show, what role he will play in that will be fantastic. Sad thing is, I'm pretty sure they've said the fact it's only going to be a limited series, so we have to enjoy it the best we can. But the fact, like, where this is picking up off, like, it's going to be really cool. I'd 100% go recommend it. The trailer is most likely going to blow everybody's pants off. And we're getting spoiled with Star Wars TV shows. And the best thing about them, I do believe, is the fact that, no offense to the sequel trilogy, the fact that it's all based off the prequels and obviously the normal Great Trilogy, the original trilogy, and in fact they're based off that. So it's pulling the heartstrings in people's childhoods, and you can tell that these shows are made with so much love, especially Mandalorian. All the detail, everything that happens, everything that's happened, everything of the characters they meet, you can show that there's so much love for them. And the Mandalorian has been fantastic, and that's really blown out of the water. Can't wait for season 3. Can't wait for the Boba Fett TV show, which I think I did read the fact that they have actually finished filming. As I said, like, we were getting spoiled with these TV shows, and the next 4 or 5 years, Star Wars, Marvel are looking great. Well, with Marvel, knowing Kevin Feige, next 15 years are going to look great. That's the other two news that's the other two pop culture things that have popped up. In other news that's just come up is the fact that E3's just finished. E3, massive gaming convention. It is like the pinnacle. This is where you show your shit. In accordance to that sentence has varied in the recent years or recent 2 years because of the fact that Sony has opted out. I've only gone to E3 once, and that was in 2018, and that was fucking-tastic. I would go back in a heartbeat. It was a great experience. It was last year, the fact that Sony was at E3, so me and my mates were really struck out for that. It was a great experience. And just the fact that you're with all these people with the same focus, passion, loving and caring, all into this world. And with the most recent E3, there was some really good ones, really good new stuff that comes out. There was the fact that the new Guardians of the Galaxy game looks great. I can't wait for that. The new Forza looks gorgeous. I'm a PlayStation 5 guy. Xbox, I do have that saved on my shopping list as TBA. So I will eventually get one. So the fact I can have best of both worlds. Just don't tell my partner. I'm just kind of like trying to hope the fact I can just sneak in the room and just tell it's a bookcase or something. But no, the new Guardians of the Galaxy game, I'm so stoked for that. I can't wait. I hope that will be really good. In accordance to that, the Avengers game that came out the other year, look, I've played it. Aesthetically, it looked great. Story's really good, but it's not a game that I'm going to come back to and play a lot. Not like the old Marvel Ultimate Alliance. That's a stellar game. That's a game that funny enough, you can still download it on the PlayStation Store, and I actually went back and actually finished both those two games again. I thought, these were great. Graphics haven't aged, obviously, very well, but still a great game from start to finish. Story, great. But yeah, they did a new Black Panther announcement for the Avengers game. Forza, as I said, Forza looks gorgeous. Halo looks really good. I'm still iffy about the Halo part. Obviously, with the footage that got issued out last year, and you're like, this looks like a giant pile of crap. Which, thank you for the audience. They also told everyone that looked like a giant pile of crap. It looked like from Halo 2. Like, don't get me wrong, Halo 2 is a great game, but for something that you're pushing on your premier console, like, this is next generation. This looks 3 generations ago, and I just showed my age. But no, E3 turned out to be really good. Some of the announcements that, extra footage we got on a few games, I was like, well, they've already announced that, we've already seen that. It's sad because of the fact that some of those games, like, they're obviously just trying to announce them earlier, and because they want to get more hype, and which I completely understand. But it's when you E3 rocks up and you're like, here's some extra footage, and you're like, I've already seen this. Cool. Where's the extra stuff? Oh, we haven't got anything. That's it. I'm like, oh, cool. I guess I'll just wait until 2022 when it comes out. Oh, we'll have some more stuff in there for in between, but not for you right now. But I would love to go back to E3, even though Sony's not there anymore. Just for the experience, I'd love to go back. Obviously, when COVID has simmered down and we can go do international travel, I'd love to go back. Even a few of my mates would say that would love to go back. If you ever get a chance, and if you're a big gamer and you love games, it's heaven. It's fan-fucking-tastic. And I can't speak highly of it. I wish Stone was still there so I could go more often. They would be in Australia, but obviously not. But no, a lot of good stuff came out from the 3 days. I did also see Sea of Thieves doing a Pirates of the Caribbean update or DLC. I'm all in for. Sea of Thieves is it's a great game in the sense the fact it does annoy me the fact that you do need help from other people if you're kind of a single player person like myself. But it's just doing the simple things. It's gorgeous. Like the water alone looks great. The sense of adventure you get from that game is also fantastic, and you can tell that it's maintained and they've put a lot of love in the game. And they've really wanted to stress the fact that this is going together as a team. And the new Pirates of the Caribbean DLC looks great. I am so in for it. My mate actually texted me. He's like, check this out. Because the funny thing is, we were playing it a couple of weeks ago. And I was saying how the fact that you have this Pirates game. I'm like, well, it's strange that it was just a coincidence. I was like, it's strange the fact that I haven't done any Pirates of the Caribbean stuff in it, or the fact that you can't go on a ship and you have the Pirates of the Caribbean theme playing in the background, or there isn't some little nugget that you can do. In accordance that you can get taken down by, obviously, the Kraken, which that hasn't happened to me, but every time the music does change, I'm on the water, I do slightly panic. And usually it's just that giant shark or fish thing. So it's half and half. But no, I'm all up for that. And I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to play that. I have been playing for the last two weeks. I think, as I said in my last episode, I have been playing Ratchet and Clank. That finally came out. And that is gorgeous. That's a gorgeous game. I probably say that way too often. That's if I. All right, you heard it first. Episode 4, bringing in a game rating system. Thumbs up. Let's go thumbs up. 5 out of 5 thumbs up. It is. It utilizes the PlayStation 5 console to its max. If you have a latest 4K TV playing Ratchet and Clank, it looks great. And playing it, it's so much fun. Like, it's just a lot of fun game. The story is really good. I can see why there's so much love and so much great reviews on this game. I can't. It's sad the fact there isn't going to be a sequel for a few years, but I want a sequel now. I'm sold. But Ratchet and Clank, they did that really good. It's a great game, start to finish. The controls, the weapons, as crazy as always. And some obviously some nostalgic ones. Some the very first one, which the first one's actually free on PlayStation Gold, which I did go back and played that a few months ago. It was actually quite funny. I played it, and when I finished the story, I did say to one of my friends, like, that didn't. To some parts, I was like, that didn't happen in the game. Well, that didn't. That story's different. He's like, yeah, it was reimagined. They changed a few things. I'm like, that makes a lot of fucking sense. Because I'm like, I don't remember this. I don't remember that ending. But still a really good game. If you do, recommendation is go play the new Ratchet and Clank. If you go to PlayStation 5, it's really good. It's a lot of fun. It's addicting. And if you've got kids, they'll love it too. I haven't been able to put it down so far. Obviously, thanks to work, I've had to. In accordance to that, the last 2 weeks have been really good with all news. E3, Ratchet and Clank, Loki. There is so much more to come, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. I'm still processing Loki. I'm still got so many theories in my head. Like, what does this all mean? Like, where's the TVA? Is that in the quantum realm? Is that on a planet? Because it just goes on forever. What does this mean for the timeline? The sacred timeline? How close will Loki get to Thor in this TV show at all? Where is Loki going to go from that? Another, which I will talk to you guys all about it. Don't you worry. Another thing, what I would like to do next is, this is not a hate crime and nothing bad. This is 3 to 4 franchises that I do believe that personally need to die. Not that need to die, or not to finish, or to die, to finish, or look, let's not make another movie for at least 10 years to give a break to that franchise. No, because these are franchises that there's been sequel after sequel after sequel, and it makes you wonder, like cool, but then the sequels get less and lesser to the original, which made it popular, or the sequels are getting worse as they go along. In no particular order, one I can tell you is that I love the first Die Hard. Second was still pretty good. Third one was alright. Fourth was decent. Fifth one, which was crap. Fifth one was crap, and did not need to be made. Die Hard is a franchise I do believe that needs to stop for at least 10 years. Give it a break. You can reboot it. You can do a new John McClane, which some people are like, no, you can't do it without Bruce Willis. But they're making a new Die Hard movie, which is meant to be a prequel movie to Die Hard. I'm like, why? Like, just 10 years. Give it 10 years, I think, is more enough time. Doesn't mean the franchise is going to die. It doesn't mean it's going to lose momentum. It just means the fact it gives the audience a break from it. Make people want a sequel. That's the thing. Make the audience want to have one. Grow that anticipation. Another franchise is Terminator. Terminator, like the last one they made it was good. Like, you got Linda Hamilton back, but it still missed the mark. To me, after the first two, it just stagnant and has been slowly going up and down. Like, I did like Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale. I thought that was I thought that was all right, but still the same thing. It didn't really hit the mark. But I do know that the new Terminator, Dark Fate, was meant to kick off a new trilogy, which I think pretty sure they have canned that, and they want to go in a different direction. But Terminator Genesis was shit. Like, that's... Like, I'm pretty sure the whole timeline in all those movies is totally fucked. Like, just look in the original trilogy, 1, 2, 3 is fine. But 4, 5, actually no, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's all fine. 5th, 6th, I've just, like, fucked that timeline. But that's another franchise I feel like, give it 10 years. Give it 10 years, reboot it, or do a sequel, fresh, and people will love it. Terminator is a great franchise. There's a lot... Obviously, an old saying is the fact that you don't leave money on the table. These franchises do have money on the table, but I feel like they should have a little date saying, cannot touch until 2030. And then you can touch it. If you want to get all that money. Another one being... Now, this is... to my dismay, this is half and half. X-Men. Before the X-Men had the merger with Disney, Fox Studios with Disney, after X-Men X-Men The Dark Phoenix, my apologies, that wasn't a great movie. But, like, that wasn't a great movie, but that's what I mean is, like, end it. Don't do another one. Give it 10 years. Reboot. I'm probably more going to the reboot kind of area, or not even a reboot, but like insane. Like, do something different. If you want a new team, you can do that. Logan is a fantastic movie. I made my partner watch that. That is a sad movie, but Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, kill it. And Daphne, I can't remember her last name, as X-23, she was also fantastic. That movie's really good. That's the thing. X-Men franchise has a lot of highs, had a lot of lows. But Logan was fantastic, but X-Men Dark Phoenix, not so much. And then you got the New Mutants, which was in development hell so much that when it finally came out, how much everyone had grown since it was shot. Which I think Kevin Feige understands this. And I don't want to see another X-Men movie for, at least 10 years. But I do know the fact, being in the hands of Kevin Feige MCU, if they do bring an X-Men movie in any shape or form in the MCU, I know it's going to be fresh. It's going to be different. They're going to treat it in a way that you're like, whoa, this is cool. I'm not sick of seeing these characters. That's not... But if they didn't do the merger, right now I'd be like, Fox, stop. Just stop. Don't go any further. Let it be. Which is... We've been saying that if they did that. Obviously, the reason they have never done that was because of the fact... they didn't, in their contract was the fact they had to make a movie in a certain amount of time, or the rights went back to Marvel anyway. So it'd still be a win-win regardless. Another movie franchise is Mission Impossible. I am under 100% belief the fact that Tom Cruise is not going to stop Mission Impossible until he does a stunt so out of this world that he dies. I hope he doesn't die. But he will not be satisfied until he keeps pushing the boundaries until he's dead, which means he keeps making these movies. You go back and you watch the first Mission Impossible, you're like, whoa, this is actually old. It's obviously based off that TV show. It's based off the TV show, of course. But there's Mission Impossible 6. They're making Mission Impossible 7. Holy crap. Like, just stop. Just... Tom Cruise, I know you won't, but just stop. As well as you heard, actually you actually did hear the fact he went off his chops at a couple of co-stars, some crew staff because they weren't doing the COVID safe rules. Which, if you go on the internet and type it in, you can actually hear the full rant, him digging straight into them because they weren't COVID safe. Which I understand. Like in something like that, people's jobs on the line. Just put on a mask. Just put on a mask, sanitize your hands, helps everybody. You get your paycheck, move on. But he went off tap. Which, I think Mission Impossible is another one that needs to stop. One I won't dig into. I've said enough in my last few episodes, obviously. Another one is Fast and Furious. At the end of the day, there's going to be 11 of those, and I want to bang my head. Number 9 just got released. Just got released just now. Seeing people post about it. Sorry, I can already see clips of it on TikTok. But I won't. No, I'll stop. I'll stop myself. Too much hate on that. But that's another movie franchise I think that needs to stop. Those are only particular ones that I do feel like you see a lot of, which a lot of people say is like, well, I think the MCU should stop. There's too many. Too many. It's the same story over and over again. Which I say to you, no, it's not. Go watch them, and you'll find out. At least they're doing something different each time. It's not just the same crap. But with DC, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. That I've explained I explained back a while ago, and it's just it's just amazing how much Warner Brothers doesn't know fucking shit. Can't put a coherent story together, and just pissing down on what they have. That's really the story. But those are my top 4 franchises I do believe need to die, stop, or give a fucking break. Speaking of movies, last night I watched the movie Tennet by Christopher Nolan, and as a movie review, really good. A little bit hard to hear the dialogue, so I had to put the subtitles on. But from start to finish, it's a solid movie. With Christopher Nolan's movies, his cinematography, it's just gorgeous to watch. I don't want to keep using that word, but it's in all his movies. You watch him and you're like, just the shots he does is fantastic. The story is really good. Start to finish, the story is fantastic. But I will say, if you didn't like Inception, don't go see this movie. Because it's same thing. It is a total mindfuck. From start to finish, it's a total mindfuck. Even 2 hours, even now, I'm still thinking in my head, wait, what the fuck did that mean? Hang on. Did he go back? Did he go forward? It's a really gorgeous story, and I love the fact that with Christopher Nolan, that he takes the basic concept of a story, beginning, middle, and end, and he jumbles it up so much that you're still stumped at the end of it, which end did you start in and where you're ending. And this movie, is that. And the first thing I thought about when that movie finished, I thought, wow, I'm confused as fuck. That was really good to watch. At the same time, if you were the film editor for this movie, if you didn't have a nervous breakdown at the end of it, well done, sir. Well done, because it is how much you have to be mindful in editing this movie is enormous. It is just the bits and pieces that happen, what keeps in mind, going back and forward, the story. It's really good. Again, Christopher Nolan knocks it out of the park, makes you think, and keeps you guessing the entire time. It's really recommendation. Go watch it. It is 2.5 hours, so it's obviously shorter than Endgame, but it's really good to watch. I would recommend, depending on your sound system, to have subtitles on. But yeah, definitely go watch it. It's a great story, start to finish. Or is it finish to start? You have to find out. Well, guys,
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.